Well, greetings, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. All right. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Happy Women's History Month, and I'm excited. I hope you're excited with me because today I have double duty going on, and you are going to truly enjoy this one. My name is Dr. Benita Anderson. I'm the founder of Stretch Educational Training and Support. If you want more information or want to know more about what I do, please visit me at www.stretchyourschool.com. Now, the business of today, as you may or may not know, my choice this year for Women's History Month was to recognize and honor women of influence who are able to see it. We tend to focus on, a lot on our historical figures who some are still here, but oftentimes they're not here to see it. So that's my goal or my focus this year, is to let people like these two with these beautiful smiles enjoy us honoring them. So my goal today is for you to learn just how fabulous they are. And here's another picture of them. So I'm going to introduce to you Dr. Billynda McAdoo and Forever 2019 Arkansas Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Stacey McAdoo. And then we will begin with just some little, who am I? The format I'm using today is, I'll show a picture and they will tell me what the picture represents. So this one I told you about already. Congratulate her with me, I'm sure you will. This is, yes, the Arkansas Teacher of the Year. You'll learn a lot more. There's much more to her since 2019. And you'll learn hopefully a lot about that today. So Stacey, welcome.
Thank you.
What's going on over here with this Arkansas Times picture?
Okay, so the Arkansas Times picture, I'm not really sure when exactly that was. I know it was either going into my year of recognition as the Teacher of the Year, or yeah, I wasn't officially it then. So I was still in the classroom at that time, but I had already made it for the district level for the Teacher of the Year.
And how long did you stay in the classroom after 2019? Did you leave out immediately?
So yes and no. It's a really involved process with the whole Teacher of the Year thing. But what happens is, first you make it for your school district, for your school, then you make it for your district, and then it's the region, and then it's the finalist, and then it's the state. So it's like a year-long process. When I was named the Teacher of the Year, then that following year is when you are out of the classroom to represent the district, the state, throughout. And I can't remember what I was about to say, but I was finna pull Billynda into all of this, because here's what's funny about both of these pictures. You haven't gotten to the shoe picture yet, but we started this thread, this girls thread, around the time of maybe it was when I was named the district Teacher of the Year, but I needed help with how to dress. And so like that scarf and stuff that you see there, like all of that is Billynda. I was like, okay. Even the tunic, everything, because I was like, I don't even know how to do this. Like, I wear tennis shoes, like in that picture over there. Right. You know, I'm like, Billynda, help me.
Wow, interesting. So now talk about, let's fast forward quite a bit, I take it. Talk about A Mile in My Shoes. I've been following as when I can, and let everyone else know what that's about.
See, here's Billynda again. So at the very beginning, you had a picture of the two of us, and my first thought on that picture was, she just makes me so much better, right? Like I'm so serious. every major milestone, every major thing that has happened to me, like she's been right there helping me along the way. With the podcast, I can't even, well, I do remember. So it was Black Girls Run had was it, Billynda, was it Black History Month, or it was something that they...
No, it was a podcast where you walked a mile a day and you learned Black History Boot Camp.
Black History Boot Camp.
But I can't remember the name of the group, but it was Black History Boot Camp, and you walked a mile and listened to them discuss a history in Black, a figure in Black history, usually a woman. I think it was women in Black history.
And so again, Billynda discovered that first, and she was like, hey, let's do this. And it's like, okay. So that was the inspiration behind A Mile in My Shoes, the Walk and Talk podcast. But even beyond that, so I have a blog that's called Still Stacey. And I was like, Billynda, what do I call it? Like, I want to be like, I want to remain who I am. And so she was like, well, you're Still Stacey. I was like, that is exactly who I am. I'm Still Stacey. So yeah, she's been there every step of the way.
So your podcast, just if you could just share with them what you do. I mean, I know, but
okay, so
share with our viewers.
So the podcast, I walk a mile and talk with an educator about their journey, their interest, or things that they want to do in order to improve education. So it's an education podcast where we are both trying to improve our physical selves, our mental selves, and the space in which we teach. And the second season, this season, I'm focusing more on policy issues that the educators want to change. In 2020, I included Teachers of the Year from around the state and Arkansas, but this year is exclusively Arkansas educators focused on policy.
Nice. And that was going to be one of my questions. How do you go about selecting who these teachers are? Because when I do get a chance to click on for a minute, I notice that it's very diverse, male, female, it's so I didn't know how you went about choosing them.
So I'm a 20-year classroom practitioner. Most of the people in my husband's family are educators. So I'm around a whole lot of educators and in a lot of different networks. So it's really, really easy for me to tap into and include people. In my current role right now, I run a policy fellowship for teachers, for Arkansas teachers. So again, and that's for teachers all across the state. So my educator network is pretty wide.
So yes, I've been following that a bit too. The policy fellowship. Are those are they in the classroom? That's great.
Yeah, so the premise behind the policy fellowship, and pretty much everything that I advocate for, is nothing about us without us. Like, I believe that systems should include, that the people that systems were made for should be at the table designing the systems to designing them. And that includes students. Like, in regards to education, I think students should be actively involved in the creation of what school looks like, if it is for them. It shouldn't be these outside entities that are not a part of what makes it happen.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because the first one I looked at, I realized that. And that's something that I totally agree with. For years, we've had people making decisions, oftentimes who have never sat in our, sat where we sat, who make, and sometimes, I won't go any further with that, but I'm just saying, I just thought that was such a great idea, because like you said, you feel, you feel, and you can almost tell when a decision needs to be, addressed further without just making it so good. All right, what's going on over here?
These two pictures, I'm going to start with the one closest to us, the one that says educator and motivator. That was the day I was announced Teacher of the Year for the state. And they tricked me. We thought we were doing a poetry performance, which kind of goes back to the other picture. We thought we were doing a poetry performance. And when we were practicing, they had the curtains drawn. When they opened up the curtains, the governor and all of these people were back there, which now it has always made me wonder how I was sounding to them, because I really thought I was practicing with my students. So I was probably being mean. I was probably, like, we got to get this done thinking. So they opened up the curtains and I'm like, what? And all the kids rushed on the stage, to congratulate me.
Oh man.
And I had a button made of this picture to remind me of my why. So through my whole year, when I went traveling, talking, and at the state board meetings and all of that, I would have that button on because they gave me so much courage and strength. I should have thought about making a button of Billynda, but I just always had her in my ear anyway. But I wanted to keep them close to my heart. And speaking of my heart, that's what the other picture is. I love language and poetry. My platform as the 2019 Arkansas Teacher of the Year was using passion and poetry to close the opportunity gap. I think that poetry and the arts in general are ways that help us make sense of the world. And I think that they foster creativity, critical thinking skills, and that they are essential to how teachers teach and how students learn.
Awesome.
So what you don't see, well, I keep mentioning Billynda. I'm really I tell people all the time, I'm a hoarder, which kind of goes into that picture with these books. So I collect things and I rarely do I really do things by myself. Like I am very communal in nature, which is weird because I'm also very introverted. But I think that means that when I find my people, like I have a small group of people who are my people, but they're my people and they're with me everywhere I go, and I turn to them all the time. So that picture of me and LaRon, that's my husband. He was the Mr. 2019 Arkansas Teacher of the Year because it was us. Like he went almost everywhere with me. He designed a theme song for me. He's my hype man, my motivator. He's everything that Billynda is not, but everything that she is also. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy.
Oh, that's nice.
And that.
Okay. Go ahead. No.
I was gonna say the last thing. So the books, my favorite writer, favorite human is Nikki Giovanni. Okay. And she has a book cover that I did I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, Billynda, rendition of recreation. And so this is my homage, my honor, my tribute to her. I love her. And so she was the inspiration for that.
And when she came to speak in Atlanta, just right before the pandemic, we went to see her and we stood in this line to get her to sign a poster of one of her poems. And I was telling her that she was my sister-in-law, Stacey's favorite author, and that she loved her. She was like, oh, that's so great. And so she signed the thing and we wrote on paper, the McAdoo family. And she wrote it, Stacey McAdoo.
I was so happy.
I guess this belongs to Stacey now.
Yes. And it's one of my favorite poems. It's called Allowables. It is just like so phenomenal. It's like the poem is all about how just because I'm afraid of something doesn't give me the right to squash the life out of it. And it's about spiders, but it's not about spiders. Anyway, yes, I love her. Thank you, Billynda. I'm so glad that I have an autographed poem by Nikki Giovanni addressed to me, even though I was not there.
And it was meant for the other McAdoo family. But when she put Stacey's name on it, it was Stacey's. You're welcome.
Oh, now I'm thinking, okay, I see what you're saying. It was for your family, your immediate family.
Yes.
Oh, that just shows all the love again.
All the love.
All right. we might be doing a shift and we might just still be joining together, but we are going to, oh, get rid of that. We're going to talk to my second honored guest today for a minute, Dr. Billynda McAdoo.
Hi.
Talk about this picture. Welcome.
So thank you. This is my husband, the other Dr. McAdoo. This is Charlie McAdoo II. You may recognize that he looks a lot like Stacey's husband because they are brothers. And so this was one of the best deals I got out of this marriage, was getting Stacey. So that was excellent. Good choice, Lorraine. Good choice, Mac. Because I mean, we just clicked from day one. It didn't really take an adjustment period. It was just like, we are dealing with these brothers together. Like, we are on the same team. Miss McAdoo included, our mother-in-law. We call them the birthers. And then we're, you know, like the normal people. Sometimes we have to separate ourselves from them. But this is my husband. He's Charlie Edward McAdoo II. And your cousin is Charlie Edward McAdoo, his father. So yeah, this is him getting his doctorate in education at Valdosta State University.
Okay.
So this is me with Billy, who's my youngest. He is in 6th grade. He's named after my father. I'm Billynda. My dad is Billy, and my son is Billy. And we are actually at a Doc McStuffins event that they had in Atlanta, and they invited Black women physicians to come and participate in the event, where kids were going to come through the Doc Mobile and practice putting on white coats and playing with stethoscopes, just to add to the representation of the event. And so I was there with a group of Black women doctors. And so, of course, I wore pink and purple to look like Doc McStuffins. It's great to see ourselves even just represented in cartoons. And all the kids, you know, wanted to take pictures with us. And it was a really fun event. So Billy came out to be part of the event. He wore his Emory scrubs. I work at Emory. And so he has on his scrubs there.
Yes, I am going to probably need you to go ahead and give us your professional, tell everybody what you do right now, because I don't think I have a picture for that.
So I am an anesthesiologist, and I have an academic position as well at the Emory University School of Medicine as an assistant professor. So I practice clinically, providing anesthesia for adult patients, and I train medical students and residents who are specializing in anesthesiology.
Nice. What's going on here?
So this is a recent photo before I went to brunch with my best friend. We just finished an 8-week fitness program. It's called E2M, Eager to Motivate. Stacey's doing it with me. And basically, it's 8 weeks of eating clean, exercising, cardio, weight training, intermittent fasting, and probably one of the biggest challenges is drinking a gallon of water a day. Not the actual drinking for me, but just like timing it so that, you know, you have all the appropriate restroom breaks throughout your day.
Oh.
If a lot of water going in is a lot of water coming out. But the program is exceptionally effective if you follow it, and it's doable. And this was we were headed out to a celebratory brunch to kind of celebrate completing our first round, kind of goes in rounds of 8 weeks. And we are now in week 2 of our second round of it.
So Stacey, what's your take on the program so far?
It's wonderful, but my take on Billynda is that she is phenomenal. So what she hasn't shared with you is that this woman is like one of the most dedicated, focused, determined individuals that I know. So whenever she says, hey, I'm going to do this, like that means like she's going to do it. Like she doesn't just, oh, wait, what is it saying? She doesn't just do it, she McAdoos it.
Don't just do it, McAdoo it. When I do
it.
so one year, my husband, because he is a McAdoo and McAdoo's are extra, he had a motto for the year. Who has a motto for the year? My husband. And it was, when I do it, I overdo it. And when I overdo it, I McAdoo it. So then that went from being his motto to being like a McAdoo family motto.
That's amazing.
Just kind of abbreviated as McAdoo it or Macadoes it or Macadid it. It has its own life.
That has to be a lot of fun.
It is, but for real. So like she went into E2M and she just killed it. Like, I mean, everything. So like she even talked about the water. So I'm like, I can't drink a glass of water. Like I'm always what I can't do, right?
Mhm.
And she just does it. So then she doesn't do a whole lot of, she does not do any complaining, actually. She doesn't complain, she doesn't do any of the stuff, she just makes it happen. So then I'll look at her and I'll be like, well, okay, I guess I can try to do, I might can do some of this.
Mhm.
Everything look effortlessly. Like you're gonna show them some of your boards in a few minutes, right? Watch.
And Stacey says this, but we are just really better together. Anything we work on together, we both go further. Like if I were just doing it myself or Stacey just doing it herself, we can have some success. But if we go after it together, we just are better together. It's just a fact. I mean, we've proven it over and over again. We've done half marathons together.
Wow.
We've done all kinds of things together. And it's just better if we work together. Which is life, right?
Right.
It's better
Right.
if you have someone going
Right.
along with you and you kind of push each other
Mhm.
to be whatever your personal best is.
And that makes sense too, because you seem to be, different. So what you're picking each other up in those different areas. And that's, I like it.
Stacey
I
thinks
see.
she's mean, but she's not mean. Like when she said, I was probably talking to the kids mean. Stacey, no, you were not. No, she wasn't. She thinks she's mean, but she's not. I have to tell her she's just like really nice on the inside. And that voice she thinks is mine, that's her voice. That's her actual voice that's in her head. That's her conscience. That's her.
Well,
It's Billynda. I'm telling you, I will be at a table doing something and I may want to say or do something. And then I'll think, what would Billynda say? What would Billynda do?
And that's your actual conscience. That's Stacey. That's Stacey.
that is awesome. Just to see that is awesome. And I hadn't shared it yet. I was going to wait until the end, but for people who are watching or will watch us, remember they're sisters-in-law. So that makes it even more awesome that they are that close. That's probably the last slide. So it's time to show off. That's why you're here. So anything special you have right there in the room, please let my audience see it.
I can share my screen.
Perfect. That's right.
Do you want to continue? Okay. So let me know if you're seeing my Instagram page. Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So one of my hobbies, I'm an anesthesiologist by day and some nights, but I really enjoy kind of food art. So I'll just kind of start here. So this is a little plate I put together, a Super Bowl kind of celebration plate, but it was also fitting into the meal plan that Stacey and I were on this given week. So you've got your typical Super Bowl foods, but this is kind of what we were eating during the Super Bowl. So you have almonds, which I decorated to look like little footballs, and I made a rose out of the smoked salmon. Let me see. I'll share some other things. So this is a plate, kind of the same celebration, but this one was for the boys. So they're not on the same meal plan. So they had some kiwi flowers, a football made out of salami and cheese. They got chocolate covered almonds and some X's and O pretzels to kind of go on to how like football plays are written out. I try to, keep a theme going throughout.
Yes, yes.
We did have some people over for the Super Bowl, so I had some sweets out for them, some cookies I decorated, and strawberries I decorated. And I really like to do these elaborate charcuterie boards.
Mhm.
So I like to have a whole display of things. This one, I was kind of making different roses. So I
Mhm.
made mango rose, a provolone rose, and a salami rose. And then we have our heart-shaped strawberries and heart-shaped crackers. And now the X's and O's are representing hugs and kisses. So I like to, keep it very thematic. Yeah, I like to giving gifts is one of my love languages.
Mhm.
And I like to curate gifts for people. And I try to put a lot of thought into it. This was for a friend who had a meal train. So we were taking meals over to her house. And instead of just, putting it in a bag, I wanted to present it in a nice way. So this is chili with all the toppings. And just to give people an idea, like if you're trying to make something special for someone, you don't have to make everything yourself. Like I bought this turkey chili, but just even the way you deliver it can add more of a personal touch to it. That's my sweet niece. This is a nice picture to show, even though it's kind of off theme. This is our big family. So
Oh, wow.
here you can see, this is Charlie Edward McAdoo II. These are my two boys. Here's Stacey and her two young adult children, her husband, LaRon. There's our in-laws, Mrs. McAdoo and Reverend McAdoo, and this is Madra and her three children, her husband, Jonathan. So her husband, Jonathan, took these photos for us. Was this Thanksgiving, Stacey, or Christmas?
It was Christmas.
Christmas, okay. Oh yeah, I see now. So we did those over the holidays, and that was really nice. We may even have some, look at the family.
That's really nice. Did you all the color coordinating, did you do that? It was just a
Yeah,
coincidence?
Madra gave us the color spread, and you
Okay.
could pick anything within those colors.
Okay.
And I think we did okay. That's the name of our text group, Fam Bam.
Oh, that is awesome.
We call it our own social media. But that's the Fam Bam. And yeah, Madra gave us the colors. You can pick anything within that. And I think it turned out really, really nicely.
It is very nice. Very nice. I love that.
I mean, I could share forever. Just tell me, oh, that one is actually a video. But oh, that's my elf. Oh, these are cute. These are little chocolate covered strawberries to look like turkeys.
Turkey.
I know. I get
That
a kick
is
out of
cute.
it.
That
I
is
get a
cute.
kick out of it completely. But any holiday, I usually put something together to celebrate. This one has kind of a creepy, spooky feel with the witch's fingers grapes and the fig crackers and fig jam. I don't know, that's my hobby. I just like putting together food in a way that's appealing. And the thing about charcuterie boards is you don't really have to cook anything. You didn't make anything, so it's not laborious. It's hard to get it wrong. You're just arranging it in a way that just adds to the detail and theme of the event. So I have a lot of fun with it. And so sometimes I teach classes on Zoom, not as much this past year, but to audiences as big as 2,000 or 3,000.
Oh, wow.
To go through and put boards together and have fun.
That is wonderful. I didn't realize that.
And before she was doing the boards, she started, do you have some pictures of the lunch boxes that you used to do?
Oh, for her boys.
Because it goes chronological. That puts me back several years. But yes, before I did charcuterie boards, I used to do creative lunches for the boys, and I may be able to get back to them. So if there was something they had celebrated in class or they were learning, I tried to make a lunch that kind of went with it. Okay, so here's one. So this was the beginning of 4th grade. So that's the whole theme of this lunch is 4th grade. It's pretty straightforward, self-explanatory. This one is kind of a breakfast for lunch. So you've got chicken and waffles. There's even some bacon back here and little muffins and a boiled egg and another kiwi flower. And so I like to send these lunches with them to school, and they got a kick out of it. The kids got a kick out of it. This one is kind of a sushi / Pokemon themed lunch. So I took a regular Easter pea bunny and made him look like Pikachu. He's one of the Pokemon. And then made this big rice ball with crab and seaweed to look like a Pokeball. And then just some California rolls, which I didn't make, but I, organized it.
They must have been the most popular kids in school at lunchtime every day.
Yeah, this one is, this may have been around, Valentine's Day. And so that one is supposed to look like the emoji where you're winking with one eye, and then hearts. And so you see some of these same things play out on the big charcuterie boards that I had kind of done on a smaller scale when they were in school. Yeah, but now they're kind of all too old for these kind of lunches. Although I did most recently send them with a very, fun Valentine's lunch, because why not?
So are they able to, do they try it at all? The boys, do they ever try, decorating or doing things with the food at home?
Oh yeah, so they're very creative. And even though it's my hobby, they really get into it, and sometimes they get in my way. But Charlie, most recently, I don't know if I have a photo on here. Charlie most recently taught a charcuterie class to a group of teens in Jack and Jill. This is actually the board, yes, that he made during the class that he taught.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, one of the skills we teach is how to make an apple heart. And the salami rose, that's another one of the skills that we teach. And so this was a board. It was a joint Atlanta chapter and Greater North Atlanta chapter Jack and Jill teen event where he led them through a demonstration on how to do this. And I like that, they have fun with it. I have fun with it. Just like I don't like people to put me in a box saying, no, you're a physician, you're, math and science. This is something for stay-at-home moms. Like, clearly it's not, because I do it. And I don't think they attach any gender to doing things in the kitchen, because they get right in there and have fun with it as well. And so I think that's important, to just do what you do and not what people think you should do. And if you enjoy it, that justifies it. That's fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just go for it. And whether people think that doesn't fit with you or your personality, I think they have a good, yeah, exactly. I think they have a good idea of, just pursuing their interests.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And you just brought me back somewhere. I need to, before we go, I'm not going to hold you that much longer, but I need Stacey to go talk to me a little bit about Norel and Jamie, just a little bit about what they're doing right now, or whatever you feel like sharing.
So I'm very proud of both of them. Norel is graduating from college in a month or so from now. It's May 7th, I believe, is the date for him. And Jamie is a junior in college. She is currently working on a documentary about the righteous, just like Billynda just shared, that what her hobbies or her cooking, her love for making food art is something that the whole family participates in. It's pretty similar over here. I'm a poet. My kids are poets as well. And I actually wanted to end by sharing a poem with you all, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Well, that's, before we do that, I was going to say, that's why, as she was speaking about Charlie and how this all, fits in with the family, that's what it made me think about, how your crew, your whole family kind of shares that, those common interests. And
Norel is kind of like Billynda also, in that, so his major, he's a STEM guy. He's civil engineering, but he is extremely creative as well. He likes poetry, he loves music, he loves food. So I think that when when you just expose your children to endless opportunities and include them, have them a part of your life and the things that you are interested in, I think it just makes a well-rounded individual who doesn't see boxes. You know, they're able to just enjoy things for what they are.
And I'll add in, like, my mom is very creative. Like, she's super crafty. And even from a young age, she's very creative with food. My dad would say that she was experimenting on us, but it just opened up, you know, the concept of exploration and not just doing kind of what's expected. You can be creative, and that's welcome. My grandmother could sew without a pattern. Like, I mean, she clearly could see things to create without even needing a plan. She could just sit down at this, you know, fabric, cut it out and sew it together. My mom sewed, she taught me to sew. It's just, yeah, it's a whole family thing. You can pick up so many things from so many different people, but it's nice to have that influence in the family.
Well, I'm going to say, just from the time that I've spent around you all, or actually more social media, I should say, that type of, one thing that I pick up all the time is that everybody is supportive of each other in what they're doing. And that's, I'll tell you, that's very, very impressive. And I think it speaks to why your children are willing to just do whatever, you know, they're willing to, I'll try this, I'll try that, because they know they're going to be supported. And, you know, so I just wanted to throw that in, that is one of my reasons that I'm so happy to have you here, because we're going to share this with other parents. And I think that you're both bosses at everything you do. And I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate both of you. All right. What did I miss? Anything?
I'm gonna do a poem if you'll
Oh yeah, we're gonna do the poem.
Okay.
But I'm trying to make sure that I didn't miss anything that's going to keep me up tonight, because I will call you and we'll start all over. No. All right. Okay. Well, come on, honey. We're ready.
Okay, so I mentioned that Jamie is working on a documentary about The Righteous, and The Righteous is a spoken word youth collective that my husband and I started in 2000. And when her and Norel got in high school, they pretty much picked up the mantle and carried The Righteous forward and took it to lengths and depths that we hadn't ever dreamed of. But anyway, this poem is called One Poem at a Time. Poetry is important to me because all I truly own are my thoughts. And while that sounds like an easily discernible notion, it's not. Sometimes I have to question myself and ask myself, is this what I really think, or what I'm supposed to think, or what I think I'm supposed to think? Am I thinking this way to deliberately make a statement, or am I making a statement because I think this way? If I believe that I'm naturally beautiful, then why do I feel so much prettier when I do unnatural things to alter my being, like counting calories or popping pills to lose vanity pounds, or using chemicals or excessive heat to change the color or texture of my hair, or splashing shower gels, oils, and perfumes to disguise my scent, or applying bat feces and lip liner to lips already naturally colored and clearly defined, or for that matter, shaving, shaping, or plucking hair and sanding heels to feel more soft and feminine. I read somewhere that turtles grow to fit their environment, that a small turtle in a small bowl will not outgrow her home. And I wonder if any similar studies have been conducted on humans, specifically on little Black girls living with the dead, at war with themselves, who grew up possibly too fast, playing hide and seek with love until finally being tagged, who were born, educated, and raised in little Southern states, never to have made a home outside of their birth city. And while I am no longer naive enough to believe that poetry can change the world, I am wise enough to admit that it has changed my life. And since my thoughts are all that I own, I owe it to myself to be truthful about them, to find the closest words to share them through, to use them as a negotiator, a truce, a ceasefire for the bulging war within, and to construct and accumulate my worth while adding value to my life, one thought, one word, one phrase, one line, one poem at a time. Absolutely.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing. So
Thank you.
this is your original, you just, how long does it take to come up with something like that?
It takes me a long time, but but yeah, that was original, and it's actually a line in there where I talk about turtles and bowls.
Mhm.
That was inspired from Nikki Giovanni. So she has a poem where she actually talks about, she does a lot with nature and things that you wouldn't even think about. But yeah, so that part was inspired by her, a piece that I read from her. And there was something else in there that I almost changed the line to talk about. Oh, when I talk at the beginning, when I talk about, is this what I really think? I almost said, or what Billynda would think. But I said, let me stop before I mess it up if I try to start incorporating other things in here. But yeah.
I appreciate you all for all that you do and for families. I earnestly mean you are definitely an inspiration, and I appreciate having you all here. You both are. You both
Well,
are.
you are too. And if I wasn't such an afraid person, I would be following behind you and getting my doctorate as well. But I'm scared. So I'm not gonna. So yes, I bow down, and I appreciate the inspiration that you have provided to me without even knowing that. So
Well, I appreciate that. I love what I do. I love education. I couldn't, I mean, I can't, while I stepped down, in 2016, I was not finished. There are no rocking chairs in my house. So I'm going to keep it moving, and watching you all inspires me. So anyway, as we close out, that's me again, stretchyourschool@gmail.com or www.stretchyourschool. But also, anyone who's watching this, please connect with me. I love hearing what other people are doing, educators and others, and I love sharing with you. So screenshot or do what you need to do and connect, and I would love to be a part of your network. Okay. So that is the end of our session today. Again, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you, and make it a great day. Afternoon.
thank you.
Same
right.
to you. Thanks for
Oh, wait.
inviting.
Do people know that we're in Arkansas and Atlanta? Did we mention that at all?
I don't know that we mentioned Atlanta at
I
all.
did say I worked at Emory, but yes, in
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in Atlanta,
Okay.
Georgia.
All right. Okay. All right. Take care. Thanks again.
All right.
Bye
Bye.
now. Bye-bye.